Am I live? Oh, that was like the worst timing like ever. All right, so welcome to the STiKS Live, where apparently I'm by myself. I forgot that we were getting ready to be live. I think Hitch went to go get something to eat. Why on the show? I have no idea. Kingdom scumbagged me, and Fox has apparently fallen asleep in his chair, and he left the pillow there. So I'm not really sure what's happening, but at least we have two people now. So, and goalie, which
I'm here for the party.
I'm always
here for the long.
Oh, my chair is dirty. I can see it on stream. Did they hear?
You have a dirty chair?
Yeah, I can see it on the stream.
Is it dusty?
I'm not back yet on the stream. Dang, the delay is long.
How long is the delay going? Like 45 seconds?
Hey, what up?
Fox, we are live, even though he can't hear us.
Oh, crap. I did not know
live,
my mic
Fox.
was on.
We're live.
I hear you. I didn't realize that my microphone
it's okay.
was
Everyone
not
left
muted.
me. It's fine. I'm not mad about it or anything.
Chance?
So
no, he's
just,
not on the STiKS.
I'm just trying to buy time until Hitch comes back so we can ask the question of the week. But how was your guys' week? Kingdom, you've been gone for like 3 years, but just curious how it's always been.
My 3 years was good.
That's good.
I did skip out on a work function so that I could watch the eSports reveal for Black Ops 3, which was great. I was very happy that I did that and watched your guys' pre-show, which was good too. Got to play around in the chat for that, and I'm just happy to be back on the show. And I'm wearing my favorite hoodie.
It's pretty. I like that a lot. I think we can. We might be doing.
Wait. So yesterday, I took my kids to somebody else's birthday party, and my youngest son is 3, and he's potty trained, but he sometimes will pee in the bed at nighttime. So he decided
he has that problem too.
Oh, I heard.
As I get hit off, he's like.
He decided that the best place to use the bathroom while we were at the water park was in the middle of the water park, like those open parks where everybody runs around with no shoes on,
right?
And the water is just splashing on them. So my wife hits me, and I'm like, "What?" She's like, "Go get your son." I was like, "What is he doing?" And I turn over, and he's literally has his pants all the way down and standing in the middle of the water park, peeing on the ground.
So I get kicked out when I do that.
Yeah, I love it
when I do that, like often. Like, how big is this water park? Like, is it like a?
There was probably about 30 kids running around.
Oh.
And they all stepped in his pee, probably, so.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
And I had to be the parent to walk over to him and get him, and it kind of... I didn't want to draw attention to it, though, like, while he was peeing. Like, that would be stupid. Yeah. Like, Evan! And then everybody's looking at him like...
So I don't know how you don't draw attention to that
That's
situation.
really quick thinking. I don't know if I would have been like, no! Really loud.
No! Just like get on all your knees. Did you go in his pee? Did you step in his pee? Like,
try to hold it or catch it in your hands or something?
Oh, no. Oh, my God.
I don't know what I would have done after that. I probably would have blacked out or something, but...
I don't know how you react to that situation.
Now you know if Hitch is ever standing in the middle of an event in the open bracket peeing. Just let him finish, and then go tell him that he's doing the wrong thing and he needs to go.
It's like, hey, Hitch. He's like,
Hitch, we're in a hotel. There are bathrooms in every room.
When you gotta go, you gotta go, man.
Can we get the janitor? Hitch did it again. It's the 3rd event in a row. Give us a break. But after that long, great story, the P story, I'd like to call it. Welcome, everyone.
Wait a minute. I got another P story. It's really short, though.
Can I just say welcome to STiKS really quickly?
Welcome to the STiKS. How you doing?
That works fine.
This is very brief. I was at Water Country in Virginia a few weeks ago, as the people that follow me would know.
Wait.
What?
What do you mean by Water Country?
That was the name of the park. It was cool. It was called the park. It's called Country. Okay. But when you get out of the ride, I went on a ride with my brother, and at the end, I'm like, all right, you got to go to the bathroom because you're about to go to the other side of the park. And he's just like, no, I went on the ride.
Oh, no.
That was it. It's like, you see,
a normal thing, man.
Were you guys in the front by chance? Just curious, like.
No, it was like one of those. You get on a raft and you like.
Oh. So it went around the entire raft, like cycling.
Was he wearing shorts?
Oh, okay.
Trunks. It's fine. As far as I know, there was no pee on me, so we're good. I don't really care about anybody else there.
I don't know if I have any.
That's just a general sentence that always needs to be said. As far as I know, there wasn't any pee on me.
Landon, you should say that next time you cast.
Just randomly, just pull it out of nowhere.
Mid map, just as far as I know, there wasn't pee on me.
Not sure how well that would go over. At night, though, I've been prone to say some really weird things when I've been casting. I've been told to quiet down. Man. Settle down. Oh, God. I'm already, like...
Landon, you're hosting. I mean, this is...
I know. This is my problem that I made, but... Welcome, everyone, to the STiKS Live. I have to do that to, like, kind of get us flowing back to transition, but I'm going to give the question of the week, which is addressed by everyone. At the end of your outro, or no, at the end of your intro, I want you to answer this question. So I'm going to start off with Kingdom to give his intro, but I want you to answer this question after you give your intro. So that's how it works. Sorry, Fox is distracting me. He's just going over and shutting his curtains. Anyway, here's the question of the week. It is, if you could guarantee one gun to be in Black Ops 3 from any COD title ever. Hitch, are you paying attention?
Yeah, I was trying to get lighter.
I'm just checking. I'm just checking. What gun would you choose and why? So any gun from any Call of Duty title in Black Ops 3, if you could guarantee it, what gun would it be and why? So, Kingdom, you're going to give your intro, then you're going to answer the question.
My name is Kingdom Soldier. I am the #1 detriment. I've been off YouTube and streaming and stuff for a while. I did stream last week for like 3 hours. That was about it. Trying to figure out when I can stream and do that more. But I thank all of you guys for still continuing to support the STiKS, all the hard work that Goalie does, and that Landon does, and that Fox does, and that Hitch does whenever he can. I just appreciate you guys supporting all of these guys and their personal channels. And I hope a lot of you guys that miss my content, I don't know if you are subscribed to like Tommy. Well, I know you're not because there's 30,000 of you still subscribed to me. But I see that Tommy has like 1,800, and I think Landon has 2,000 something.
Yeah,
maybe?
I think 2,100.
Hitch has like 6. So, and I don't know how many Fox has, 4. But 4. So, you guys check out their content. They, especially like Tommy uploads every single day and talks.
Tommy is a grinder.
Dude is a grinder. Like. Just watch his content, and it'll help you to get revenge on the queen. You know, if you get mad sometimes and hit the dislike button. As long as
Dude, Kingdom forgot all stream etiquette. Just out of nowhere. He popped something into his mouth literally mid-sentence.
Wait a minute. Wait.
If you're ever mad,
it's all good, though, because there's no pee on me. So, all right, so
Fox, what are you drinking? Just make sure.
The gun,
straight vodka.
Oh, great! I was hoping he would say there's no pee on me or something. It's not. I thought that was gonna go totally different. Like that just never entered my mind. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
All right. The gun I would bring back is I mean that's hard from any. I'd have to say the ACR from Modern Warfare 3. I'm sorry.
Reason why?
It's my favorite weapon. The gold ACR with the red dot. I would just murder people with that, and it was great. Like I even love watching montages, and I think Hitch, you showed me that big montage you made. Some of my favorite clips were the ones with the ACR. I just love that gun, and I really fell in love with competitive Call of Duty. I did in Black Ops 1, but I really fell in love with it during Modern Warfare 3, watching all those events that were not on MLG, but I was still able to watch them. So I would have to say that.
ACR. That's a good choice. That's definitely one of the most overpowered guns in gaming. But I'm going to go and head over to Mr. Fox to give his intro and also answer the question.
Hi guys, I'm Fox. I'm an eSports caster. I'm a live streamer and a YouTuber. My Twitter should be right here under my face somewhere if you want to check out some of my content. I produce content every single day, whether it's streaming or on YouTube, so thank you very much if you wish to support me. To answer today's question, if you could guarantee one gun to be in Black Ops 2 from any COD title ever, so are we excluding the ones that are already confirmed, like the M8? Are we for this question?
What is that?
I mean, it's a different M8, but I mean.
Okay, well, I mean, I guess not all the weapons are announced, so I'll just go. I'll go Vector because that seems to be a pretty popular weapon to have in some form in a lot of the Call of Duties.
The Vector from what game?
Wait.
Ooh, good call.
The Vector, like what game from, or like what weapon? Like what game? Like the Vector's been in 2 different games. Like there are 3 different games.
Vector?
What gun would you choose? So what? I thought you were just asking, like, what do I predict? Am I reading this wrong?
No. What gun would you want to have?
Oh, okay. That's not what the question says. Okay, well, go on.
That's what the question says.
Give me the MP5 from COD 4. Give me the P90 from any Call of Duty, and I'll be satisfied. I just love submachine guns, dude.
Okay, can I just read off the question one more time here? Okay, the question says, if you could guarantee one gun to be a Black Ops 3 from any COD title ever, what gun would you choose and why?
These kids can't read.
I thought you were asked. I read it from a different dude.
He's drinking vodka. Leave him alone.
I don't.
People can start tweeting about Fox.
So you chose. Okay, so Kingdom chose the ACR MW3. Fox chose the MP5K from Call of Duty 4. Is that correct?
I said the MP5 and the P90. Yes.
Okay, you only choose one.
Oh crap! All right, P90.
Okay. Hitch, you can give your intro and answer the question.
Yo, what's going on, YouTube? That's not my intro. My name is Hitch. I do optic intel things, and I also I do stuff on my personal channel as well, and I've got some cool things coming up, but I just had a rough week, so I didn't upload anything, but if I could guarantee a gun in Black Ops 2, it would be, or in Black Ops 3, it would be the Modern Warfare 2 UMP, and no one would survive. Hey. No one would survive.
That was solid.
Yeah, that was pretty dope.
I was scared. I was surprised you didn't say a sniper. I was like almost sure you were going to say like the intervention or something.
Well, I'm the best sniper in the game, so I could do it with whatever. Yeah, whatever sniper.
That's cool. I'm just curious.
I'm just joking.
I'm not doubting you at all. I think you could. You have the capability of definitely being the best sniper of all time.
I think so too. I'm glad we agree on something.
Me too. I'm glad we also agree.
You guys must both be drinking.
I just saw what you put in the chat. R. Kelly. Oh my. I'm sorry. Okay. What's up, guys? My name's Landon. I make videos on YouTube. I also stream, do some stuff. Actually, I rarely stream, but whenever I do it, it's usually a fun time. I usually yell a lot and stuff. But I'm making a lot of YouTube videos, a lot of Black Ops 3 stuff, which we'll be talking about today. A little bit of a plug. But if I could choose one gun to be Black Ops 3 that was in a previous COD title, my favorite gun, which I know was super overpowered, kind of, well, everyone used it who was smart, was in Black Ops 1. I was a big fan of the FAMAS. I just love the FAMAS. I know.
Landon, really killing Call of Duty.
Who let him on here?
He chose the UMP 45. Just the UMP.
You're killing COD, bro. Single-handedly.
I like the FAMAS a lot. I also like the MP5K from Black Ops 1.
Wait. If you combined our 4 weapons, we'd have the best sniper in the game, but he would be bringing an ump. We'd have what did you pick, Fox? The MP5?
I was deciding between those two. I chose the P90.
So the P90 from which game? Doesn't matter.
COD 4, sure. We'll go with that.
COD 4, P90. Well, they're all the P90 is the only weapon that's basically stayed the same.
Yeah, it's this, and then it's returning as the Weevil Weevil. Yeah, in Black Ops 3.
These weapons. And then Landon would bring in the FAMAS. So basically, Landon's weapon gets rid of all of ours. So people would only use the FAMAS. They wouldn't even use the ACR.
It doesn't have to be as overpowered. If you just bump up like one-shot kill for snipers, P90, 3-bullet. I mean, hey, perfect. I was also debating. I really like the G11 too. The overpowered G11.
Oh no, that was like carrying
Remember the G18s from Modern Warfare 2? Akimbo G18s were godly.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I love those things. I used to snipe and then have to just spray people. Screw the Model 18s. I had the Glocks, bro. They were fire.
Model 1887s. Does anyone remember the Model 1887s pre-patch MW2? Does anybody remember that? That was
how could you? That gave me nightmares, bro.
I've heard a lot of people like say like their best gun of all time, and that's never in their list. Like that was probably the most stupid gun I've ever seen or played with.
Yeah, for
like
sure.
You had sniper range with a shotgun. I just want to put that out there. So
there's so many things in Modern Warfare 2 that I just wonder. I just wonder like who let it happen.
This will be really fun. This is watch this play.
When we get on, it's only a matter of time before we realize, wow, this is ridiculous. like one-man army noob tubes and stuff like that. Like, wow.
I will say, Modern Warfare 2 competitive has the most balanced weapons of any Call of Duty.
Think so? I didn't get to play it a lot, so I don't have much of an opinion.
Well, they figured out the right bands and everything.
I played, but I didn't play like super competitively.
Literally, there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 viable ARs that I see. 6 if you can count the M16. Sometimes people use the M16. But literally, there's so many. And then the UMP pretty much dominated the subs.
Yeah.
But, I mean, every once in a while you'd see an MP5. It was like super close range.
I like
watching you play. It was good. Like, when I watched your stream, Modern Warfare 2 was actually entertaining. I don't think if I watched Black Ops 1 competitive right now, it would be entertaining because of how much the game has advanced. But Modern Warfare 2, I can watch.
Black Ops 2, Black Ops 1, if you ever watched the Deserto playlist, it was entertaining. It was super entertaining because they banned the FAF, or they banned the FAMAS.
Oh, I watched everything Black Ops 1. I would hunt for VOD and watch it.
Yeah. So those were like super, super fun.
I'm seeing some good answers in the chat as well. And if you guys want to, make sure to you guys can always answer the questions. I always look at them in the chat. Someone said the Commando from Black Ops 1. That was a pretty good gun. I enjoyed that with Suppressor. That was a good gun. The MSBS from Ghosts. That was pretty overpowered, but I really liked that. Oh, God. Scar H. That's a good weapon. Just looking to see what everyone's putting in there. But I think that kind of answers all of our questions. I believe what we're going to do before we get into like the main topic for the show, Vulcan has recently like kind of put out something really interesting talking about their partnership with MLG. So I'm going to read this off of their website. They posted it, 30 minutes ago? Yeah, that's what Cottage Sportspedia retweeted. So,
yeah, just as the show started, essentially.
Right? They literally did that for us. Like, that was their plan. But at least I'm sure what it was. So, I'm going to read what it says on their website. I can actually, if someone would like to link it in the chat, or I can do it, I will do so. But there it is. You guys can read along with me if you'd like to. I know audiobooks are a thing. Either way, looking at what they said. They said, regarding MLG on Vulcan, dear Vulcanites, I guess it's what they call their followers on their website. That's a little strange. Either way, we have reached an agreement with MLG to put all contests on an indefinite hiatus. We are working with MLG to combat the issues pro players have been experiencing while in-game. All current contests and quests have already been refunded. We apologize for any inconvenience and hope to bring back Call of Duty matches for our users in the very near future. And they signed it, the Vulcan team. So, immediate reaction to this article. Are you guys excited about that it's ending? Or do you guys think that the DDoSing will continue, so to say? Do you guys think that this is going to help at all?
Oh, absolutely.
Now that nobody else is making money, I'll stop DDoSing.
I would say that too. I would say that, but like I feel they're like hitting them off in the 2Ks and 5Ks. Like I've been seeing that even more. I feel like they're just abusing it because they know how to do it now. I feel that would be my only response.
Yes. The thing is once these people start, now they're going to be mad that they can't make money, so they may backlash intentionally. Like they may think, "Hey, I'm just I'm being the devil's advocate." I'm just sad. No. They may come out with and decide, you know what, we're gonna attack them anyway. But there's got to be a way, and I hope Vulcan does help MLG. There's got to be a way to figure out what for the players how to protect themselves besides just not streaming, because they're losing out on. They're losing out on content by doing that. And you notice that they said when MLG announced before Vulcan was not allowed, in MLG's announcement, they said the people didn't have to stream. They said it would be to the discretion of the players. And so that's losing money, because when a player doesn't stream and MLG isn't streaming, or the player doesn't want them to stream, well, then MLG has nothing to stream. And maybe that's why they're using the Game Battles website, because they used it for the Game Battles MLG channel. They used it to do the 5K yesterday. I don't know if they've been doing that and I just missed out and they stopped using like ESR, but maybe that's because they didn't want to get hit off. I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. We'll also be having later in the show the Pro League reset. We'll talk about absolutely everything, and we'll also include that as well. But we're gonna kind of move on. We kind of touched on the Vulcan situation and how it's been dealt with, but we'll move on to some more fun action. Something that actually happened, like almost a week ago to like yesterday. Yeah, that's what it's gonna be. Thank you, Hedge, for the dancing. But we actually the STiKS had our pre-show. And it was actually me, Tommy, Rage, Goalie, and then Fox also came on, and we kind of talked about our predictions for it, our expectations, and to say the least, it definitely lived up to our expectations. I was really excited about it. I know all of us were watching it. Kingdom even said he took off work. They had 8 players from all around the world. I think it was like Buzzo, Sensor, Merc, Teep, like Gotaga was there. People from all around the world. They had David Vonderhaar and Scott Lowe, who I believe is like one of the main people over at Treyarch. We also had Mr. X and Maven casting. It was held on Twitch and hosted by ESL. Absolutely everything was done by ESL, and they played a best of 3, including Hardpoint, S&D, and Uplink. Now, they don't normally play S&D or Uplink. They'll just have like a Hardpoint game where they'll just play something. So I was really excited about that. And we're going to talk about absolutely every single thing that they listed at this eSports reveal, from the ban/protect system, the specialist draft, the new casting features, absolutely everything we're going to be going over and kind of discussing. So I had a lot of questions from Twitter asking me, like, what does this mean? And we'll kind of be covering it in this. So the first thing that we have to talk about is the ban/protect system. And I know we can kind of talk about this layout, how it works. Your initial thoughts on seeing this into the game. I'm going to ask Hitch. So, Hitch, your initial thoughts on seeing the ban/protect system in Call of Duty eSports.
It's amazing. I feel like I probably talked about it way too much on Twitter and on Intel and everywhere, but I think it's amazing. I think it's one of the things that we've always needed. It's just a way to do this. One thing that I will say, I don't know if this is a later question, is that I do hope there are some global bans, some bans that that will be permanent throughout every single game or whatnot. Because if not, then we're gonna have this whole thing of whether teams, have gentleman agreements or not, and it's just gonna be super confusing. It's gonna be even more confusing than this year was. But I think it's amazing. I think that this gives us some sort of legitimacy with other esports, like esports such as like League of Legends and things that understand the picks and bans and protects and things like that. They're going to be able to understand us kind of, and it gives us a little bit more of like. We've been kind of seen as a joke for a really long time because of how much we have to do ourselves because we don't really get any help from any sort of developers. So I think now that we're getting this help, then other people are going to be able to respect us a little bit more. So I think it's amazing. And of course the core, the fact that it balances the game, and that we control how much it balances the game is amazing as well. So. Those are all of my sense.
Do you think, Hitch, that with global bans there should be global protects as well?
No.
So
I do not.
So there's no weapons and or perks or anything that you think should just always be in the game?
No, because I read up on it, and what Treyarch pretty much ever since Black Ops 1, where it was just the FAMAS all the time, like Vonderhaar, during Black Ops 2, he said it, he was like, that was just annoying. I didn't like it, how there was always one gun. Ever since that, he didn't like it. He hates there being a mandatory perk or a mandatory gun. Mm-hmm. So the fact that every single person used toughness in Black Ops 2, they wanted to get rid of that. So they got rid of toughness, and so he has said, multiple times that there's not a mandatory perk in Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3, so there's no real need for a protect. You know what I mean?
I think there's like
it'll be. I'd be mad if I went into a hardpoint game and no one had an M8. That would just be weird to me. It would.
Well, it's not for ranked player public matches or anything.
It will be. It'll be for arena, private, and arena and private.
And protect.
Well, I thought you meant like public matches, like just regular.
No,
I'm saying like competitive. If I went to a LAN and
okay, I thought you meant
I was the best with the M8. It'd be like if the FAL was banned when everybody was using it, and then Parasite got to use it because it wasn't banned in his match, but Proofy didn't get to use his FAL.
But that's the thing. But that's the thing with every other esport is that these people that play League of Legends, like they'll be, they'll have like a main. I mean, I don't pretend to watch League of Legends. Like, I don't know anything about it, but I'm assuming that they have like a character that's their main character, and they're freaking dominant with it. So they know that that's what people are going to be gunning for. So then they learn how to be just as good, you know, with numerous other characters. So that's what we're going to have to get to. And I think that's amazing. That's something that we've never had in competitive
versatility. You need to have versatility within your weapon class. Just like I'm in Black Ops 2, I'm a submachine gun player. My favorite weapon is the Scorpion, but there are times where I'll use the MSMC or even the AN-94, which is an assault rifle, but it's automatic. You know, you can still use it as like a support kind of thing. I think a player like Stainville, was it Stainville that used it a lot in Black Ops 2? I think it was Stainville. Killa used it a lot in Black Ops 2. It's just sort of like, you know, just you're a sub player, but you know, you just that importance of being versatile and using different things is even more important now because your main weapon could get banned.
Exactly. You're no longer going to hear the term like, oh, that's a BAL player or that's an ASM1 player. You're going to have like, he's this player. Man. I like the fact that got me really excited was that we got to see the ban/protect. Like, I was really excited about that. But when they announced the specialist, it was like that's where the character play like comes in. Like you said, Hitch. It was like, oh, they're really good with, you know, this type of character. Well, it's gonna be the same exact thing with specialist because he's good with this specialist, but he can also do this for the objective work. Like he can run this too. Like it's just like unlimited possibilities. And I feel like you know, me and Fox are casters and stuff like that. I feel like this game, you're gonna have to know what you're talking about. Like you can't just be like, oh, he kills that guy, they're gonna get points. It's like, the reason why he got that kill is because he's running the specialist. The reason why he's running the specialist is because they ban. Like, there's so many things to branch off of that I'm really. I think that we're gonna look like a real esport, and the fact that we're gonna look like just about every single other person out there, but be a little bit different. Like have our own style to it.
Do you think our esport is built for that? I mean, because we're like a point and shoot first person shooter. Like, there's a difference between what we do and, you know, the team type of game where you have all these gods or whatever, like Smite running around the map, and you see it from a different view, and there's trees, and you know and you throw different stuff at people. I think I'm just wondering if it's going to get annoying to us at some point. I mean, and we'll see. Like, I've seen fans get mad because certain things they like, even when a certain team would lose on a map that they know they're not good at, you know, and so it's like, well, now you're almost going to be able to predict the outcome of a map based on the bans and protects, not based on the skill of the players. And so I'm just thinking that may be possible. So I don't know.
I mean, go, whoever that was.
I want to hear what you have to say.
Like, if you think back to your favorite Call of Duty, like, regardless of whatever it was, I'm just going to say mine is Modern Warfare 2. So if I could go into games right now and ban, you know, the TAR, which is considered an online gun because of how powerful it is, or the SCAR, then like that would be amazing. And then if somebody bans, you know, if somebody bans the UMP, or if somebody bans the Barrett because I use the Barrett a lot, then I just have to whip out the intervention, or I'd have to use the MP5. You know, this, and it's. I feel like that works, you know, that works really well.
I think so too. I think theoretically, like, it's, first off, we'll see if it works, right? That's cool. We get to try it out, but like just putting it together in my mind, using common sense, and then just from experience playing Call of Duty, I think that it'll work perfectly fine. Of course, you're going to be upset as a fan if Clayster can't use his M8 or something, right. But Clayster should, because it is his job, be good with more than just the M8 now. He can go in knowing someone could ban the M8 immediately.
If you think of,
go ahead.
Go ahead. Sorry, I'm like super passionate.
Well, no, I'm just saying, my expectation if we're doing this would be that we also elevate what we give to players and what we give to casters, like, and maybe allow coaches again, because there's things that are allowed in these other games that when they have to think at that level, when players have to plan not just to use a BAL or to use an MSMC, like they have to plan at way up here. I mean, the amount of thinking they're going to have to do and strategy, the teams are going to have to go into private matches and, you know, well, what if they throw this at us? What if they ban this? What if they ban that? What if they protect this? You know, and so as they're planning, and for casters, for like Landon, Fox, Chance, all these guys, like the amount of information that you're going to have to download into your head and know and be able to respond once they ban something or protect something, then you're going to have to be able to go along with, like you said, Landon, what they do. And so I'm just thinking, I hope that our casters are paid adequately if they have to, you know, perform at that level, and I hope the players are taken care of as well, you know, and I don't know. We don't know right now if it's going to be Activision or MLG who's kind of hosting this stuff. You know, Vonderhaar said leagues, more information about leagues is going to come.
Yeah, that's what I keep thinking about. I'm really excited to hear about that.
I just hope everybody's taken care of. If we're making this type of a leap in gameplay and in the mental ability that it takes, where a Parasite is going to be like your bottom tier knowledge player. Like everyone's going to have to play and think at his level or at Ake's level. You know, everybody's going to have to be at that level. And so it does elevate the game, and I agree with you 100%, Hitch. It should make it more competitive, more entertaining, but it won't be entertaining if the casters aren't taken care of and they're kind of like throwing things together, or only the passionate casters that have the opportunity. So I hope everybody gets taken care of. If
this is something that I was thinking about this the other day. I actually made a video about this on my channel, or I mentioned in a video on my channel that it's going to be a future video because it was a related topic. But I was like, I would love to see coaches return. I made a video about that. And I was like, I would also love to see separate analysts from casters. I feel like a caster can do an analyst job, of course. Yeah. But I think that it would be more appropriate, especially now, to have a dedicated analyst and, you know, several dedicated analysts. Just like in the Counter-Strike scene, you'll see people like Thorin, who are just renowned for being great analysts, right? You sit him at the analyst desk, you know he's going to bring you lots of information. He's not there to entertain you and you know, have an impressive vocabulary and voice and everything. He's there to give you facts and compare things statistically and really break things down for the people at home.
Yeah. I agree.
It's like, and like if you watch, I know Will was talking about like the Dota 2 tournament that happened, like watching that and like being able to know like we're gonna have that similarity with them got me really excited, because like they have an analyst desk dedicated to that, so they're like, oh, this is the reason why he's running that, and like having coaches too. If the coaches are smart, like that's a major thing for you. Like now, like coaches are good because they can get you hyped. They're like that fifth man, but in Black Ops 3, it's totally different because say the coach knows something that no one else does. Say that, you know, that Parasite's been running the inmate a lot and he's really, really good at it. Well, the coach is going to add in that information. He's like the extra guy that can also add hype. He can do a bunch of other stuff. But like having really knowledgeable coaches is going to be a very, very big deal, which I think is going to overall make it really, really interesting. But I know we're talking about a bunch of stuff that could happen. It's a lot of stuff that we want to happen. But from the ban/protect system, this goes from just about every single thing that you can imagine. It goes from guns, it happens to streaks, specialist abilities, tacticals, lethals, perks, just about anything that you can imagine that are going to be in the game, you can ban or you can protect it once it comes to the game. So I'm really excited about that. And for right now, I believe it's like who can touch it first, like which was the only thing that I wasn't a big fan of. It was like whoever bans it first gets it banned. Like it was just quicker, like quicker the finger. Yeah, that's the only thing that I'm not a fan of. Like maybe they do it on seeding wise, like who gets to go first.
That would be my only. There's bound to be something,
right? And we just
sure there's going to be something, right? There's strategy to that, because if you wait for them, then you could change. Like these players are going to end up having to have like, okay, censor, since you're going to get to go first on the ban or protect, here's your options. If he picks this, you pick that. If he picks this, you pick that, you know, or you need to go first and go really fast so that he has to do that, you know.
Well, the only problem is like,
strategy. I think they'll do it off of seeding at tournaments for like who gets the first ban, though, because I don't think it makes sense to be like first come, first serve sort of thing.
Ready, set,
should have, or at least either a coin flip or off of seeding, because it doesn't make sense to just, you know, oh, you're the first one there, you know what I mean? It'd be ridiculous.
And like the only thing, Kingdom, that I would say, like, we'll let that guy go first, is that like, what if you have a person on your team that is so good with like, let's just say the M8 that you protect it? Like, what if FaZe, for instance, Clay was as dominant as he is in this game? It's like, oh, we got to protect the M8 as fast as we can, but they don't have a very dominant, you know, AR player, so they're trying to get rid of it as fast as they can. It's just like whoever gets it first. It's like, oh well, you know, That's the only thing that I would say. Like, we need some sort of variation to see who goes first, like whether it's seeding or like Fox said, a flip of a coin. I think that's the only real problem that I see with it, but there are unlimited amounts of amazing stuff that we could see with this system.
The game meta is going to make the decisions. Like you could ban his M8, but I may think, well, why wouldn't I want to ban their best sub player? Like whatever they're using to get into the hill. Like I don't care who's, you know, got rotation. I want to stop them from trying to break hills and get in the first place. And so I don't know. I mean, it depends on the team. It's going to be interesting. I'll tell you that much. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah. I think it's going to be really cool. Like, I'm imagining it in Advanced Warfare. It's like, well, we could ban Scumpy's ASM1 because it's a good thing such and such on our team is really good with the MP11 or the KF5, you know,
right.
they just so
they banned that. They're like, nope, we're gonna ban that too.
You're gonna have to have that versatility as a player. I think that's something that's gonna be really interesting to see in Black Ops 3.
Yeah, I do agree with Hitch though. Global bans. You can't have UAV being played on land.
Sure that's going to happen. Merc already said it's going to happen, and I feel like there shouldn't be any doubt that there's definitely going to be. There's just things that you just know don't belong in competitive play. C4, UAV, stuff like that, you know?
In the casting settings, there's an option that I saw Mr. X talk. I was watching the ESR a little bit, and he said that you can actually like limit what stuff goes in, so you can automatically not have the UAV be an option to ban or protect. It's just automatically out.
What?
So, like,
the caster can do that?
Yeah. They have... like, watching the settings that they had, like seeing the presentation and watching what Mr. X said about it, he was like, we can basically do whatever we want to, like it's like, and then they can also have like save their updates. So like casting, like for instance, if you had game modes in Black Ops 2, and like, oh, I'm gonna have gun game in a private match, so I'm gonna go to that one game type save that I had. That's the same thing for the casting option. So you can go to version 1.03 of the casting, you know, whatnot, press this, okay. Everything's normal. Like I
there's people in chat and a lot of people that are complaining about how long it takes to do all of this.
That's true.
Like especially like the countdown and stuff like that. But in case you didn't see it when they were doing it live, is actually settings that you can choose to decrease the amount of time they have.
Or make it longer,
so for anybody, or you can make it longer. You know, but I feel like it was a decent amount of time. I feel like that amount of time anyway would be used as an introduction for the casters. They had the player cards up on screen and stuff like that. So that's time that would be used anyway. And I think that it gives them a good amount of time for casters to be like, oh, you see, we're gonna have to predict how they're adjusting to these bans and protects. Oh, Clayster can't use M8,
right?
You know, so there's talking points that can be used during that and stuff. You know, it'll be fine. It'll be fine.
Like there's people don't understand. Option, You're fine, Hitch. My bad. You interrupting everyone.
People don't understand that that's going to be like one of the more hype parts of the entire game. It's like everybody's looking at the pre-match and like trying to figure like it's like. In League of Legends, like people, like the crowd erupts whenever somebody picks their main character, or they like get really shocked because they pick somebody they didn't want. You know, that's it's going to be a new part of the game that's going to add an element of hype, and I'm super stoked about it.
Honestly, you guys are going to be casting it.
If we can survive the minute-long countdown in the beginning of every Call of Duty Ghosts match, we can survive this. Like, and this is going to. Also, because this is supposed to be really cool. Like this, once we understand what's going on these picks and bans screens and stuff like that, we'll think it's a lot cooler than now because we don't know what's in the game. We're like, what is it? Okay, UAV. Why is that? You know, it'll be a lot cooler in a minute, in a week or so.
Sorry, my phone's ringing.
What is that? A phone from the 1940s?
No, I'm on the STiKS right now. Oh, okay. Yeah, just call Landon. All right, bye.
I got the call. Thank you. It was like a ringtone from someone's phone. They called me.
No, but yeah, it'll be really cool when once everybody actually understands the stuff in the game, the picks and bans or protects and bans and everything will be a nice thing to watch leading into the match.
And like watching, I know I keep relating back to Dota 2, but like whenever they realize which one's been banned and which one's like they're good to go, like the crowd got super excited every time they would just pick one. I know they're like different characters, they have different abilities, like, and they look a lot different. It's not just like a person with a cape or something like in our game. Like it's a little bit like the characters look similar, but I think it's going to be like really interesting for us to talk about because there's an unlimited amount of possibilities that casters have an option to talk about if they know what's going on. It's like, well, they locked M8, they locked this perk. Well, that perk is normally used by this team for this reason. I think we've kind of hit just about every single thing for the ban/protect system. But guys, I think we're going to head to a commercial break. I know we've been talking about Black Ops 3 for a lot, but we have a lot more stuff to mention. Got a lot of stuff to talk about in this episode of the STiKS. So guys, we'll see you guys on the other side of 90 seconds. See ya. Welcome back, everyone. Kingdom, that was perfect timing. To the STiKS Live. Talking about some Black Ops 3, everything that we learned at the eSports reveal as Hitch dances to the, I think it was like was that the music in between the stream?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. What song was it? Goalie, what song was it?
Hero.
Was it really Hero?
Yeah, Hero.
Yeah.
I only know that because of the chat. Somebody typed it.
Goalie could be actually, like, Goalie could legitimately be a DJ at, like, girls' birthday parties and stuff, like Sweet 16s.
Yeah, I'll play Hero all the time.
Just a possible
such a low-key roast.
That was not a roast. I respect Goalie. I respect you.
I thought you were gonna say like I thought you were gonna say like goalie could be like a producer on MLG or
Oh, he could be that too. I mean, there's so many career options that goalie has at his like.
And one of them is the DJ at girls' Sweet 16 parties.
I'm sure they make great money.
You should be
a DJ at a strip club, goalie.
He just walks up and goes, "Beanie Squad, hero." A bunch of 16-year-old girls like, yeah, beanies, yeah.
I like our impressions of little girls.
Yeah.
They sound like dinosaurs.
What are those? Where's my headset's messing up.
If you guys haven't seen Fox's Vine of him in the pool with that, that was wonderful.
It's on my Instagram. It's not on my. I don't have a Vine, but yeah, it's a masterpiece. Just saying.
Okay, I'm attempting.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
I was attempting to like figure out a transition to the specialist draft, but I couldn't find one, so that was my transition. So we're gonna talk now the specialist draft, which we kind of touched on. We're gonna go over the basics of it and kind of like how it relates. Then we'll kind of move on. But it's based on the ban/protect system. You know, certain specialists have abilities that you can use. Those abilities can be limited or banned, and each team is only allowed one certain specialist. So, say that Sensor is on my team, and you know we're really good, obviously, because we have Sensor on the team, and he picks Outrider. That means that me, as my team, I cannot pick Outrider. Just plain and simple, I cannot use Outrider. As far as the other team goes, it's same thing for them. They can also use Outrider, but only one person on their team can use it. Yes, King.
He played the Fox thing on stream. I just saw it.
Oh, did he?
I'm just seeing it
I'm
now.
see
Yeah,
it.
he played it on stream.
That is perfect.
It's beautiful. Isn't it just the greatest thing ever?
I like how we're so far behind.
The chat's tripping. Yeah, go ahead, Landon. Sorry.
No, I just like how
boys right here.
Outrider and what was your question?
I was watching the Vine or the Instagram post. Either way, do you guys like the idea of having specialists in the game? Because I heard a lot of people on Twitter saying they're not a big fan of these. They said it's kind of weird. They're not liking how Call of Duty is transitioning to like a new style of what other esports are. Not personally how I feel. All right, Kingdom, how do you feel about having specialists in the game?
Well, I just want to answer the bigger question.
Okay, do it.
What esport that has been out as long as Call of Duty is behind us in viewership and money?
Damn.
Is Halo? How much are they paying people for their championships? Don't they have a
You
million?
said viewership, though. You said viewership.
Well, yeah, their viewership died. That's true. They shouldn't have took that time off. But I think that but here's the deal. What is Halo doing? They're staying Halo. The game is staying the same. They're playing an old Halo. Now Halo 5 may change things, but they've been playing this whole year. Weren't they playing Halo 2?
Yeah. They were playing H2A, but the problem was the reason it died off was because Halo Reach and Halo 4 deviated so far from what Halo has always been. That was the reason that Halo fell off so much. They were implementing lots of things from Call of Duty that just didn't work with Halo and clashed with the core mechanics that have always been there, and it turned a lot of people away because, one, it dumbed the gameplay down, and two, some of it just flat out didn't work. It was just an unbalanced mess.
Well, and that's why I think we're doing the opposite of that. And I think if we're saying we're becoming like, you know, LOL's, Dota's, Smite.
I'm personally fine.
Anything else?
I like what we have.
It's an advance, in my opinion. I mean, I think implementing specialists and all that kind of stuff. I think we should try it. If we change it doesn't work, well, so be it. But let's at least, like, I agree with Hitch on maybe not trying to protect out of the gate. You know, let's see where it goes.
I think is I really at first when I heard about the specialists, I was immediately like, oh my god, so it's going to be like the Titans in Titanfall, where everybody gets one at some point, regardless of your performance, you get it, it's a free kill. Right. Which is essentially the same thing as Death Streaks. Like, if you're doing
killed that game.
Yeah, and it was just like, I mean, it's not the same thing. Like, Death Streaks obviously are much worse than specialists. I'm not trying to bring them to the same level at all. But I just didn't like how in Titanfall, the guy that was going 0-16 still got a Titan and then could become 4-16. Just 4 free kills, you know, whatever it may be if he's a decent Titan. I don't like that in specialists. You could get a free glitch, which is Reaper's ability. You run in, you can teleport backwards to where you were 3 seconds before. That's just a free, like that's just a get out of jail free card that you get.
But
no
how
matter
do you
what.
get specialists the same way you did like in like the previous games?
It's like support.
Oh, it's like
essentially.
It's like Destiny.
It's like Destiny. Perfect.
Yeah, like literally in Destiny, I spawned in one time and I hated the map, so I just went in the back of the map and sat there the whole time. And then like I kind of forgot I was like doing something else, and then I got my golden gun just because I was just sitting there, and you get it automatically like throughout the entire game, and it's the same way in Black Ops 3. So that's one thing that I think should, because like if you watching the eSports reveal, like everyone, all 4 players got their specialist one time throughout the thing. Now, granted, like you do lose it automatically, but I think it should be harder to get, in my opinion.
I wish that every time you died, you lost progress towards your specialist. I don't think that it should be like your free thing every game. Because, I mean, I was watching gameplay, and there was some guy that was just sort of doing average. Like, it was an okay match that he was playing, and he got his thing to let him see through walls, like every 70 seconds he got it, and he could just ping it. And I was just like, what? Why would you give a player an ability like that?
Yeah.
Does someone like Scumpy really need to be able to see people through wall? You know what I mean? Or a Clayster, you just wall banging with his inmate, stuff like that. I just don't think. I don't know. I like specialists though. I think that it's an interesting idea. Like some of them don't seem overpowered, like Overdrive, the one where you get that speed boost or whatever.
That's a crazy speed boost too.
Yeah, but it's brief, but it's very brief.
Like AW and Black Ops 2.
You
like,
glow.
Here you go. There you go.
Yeah.
You glow. That's the thing.
But that'll be really good for uplink too. I saw Teep using it, and like you getting on hard points, like immediately like rotating to our next hard point. Just clock that on. Give the uplink drone. Like you can fly across the map basically. But yeah, there's definitely positives and negatives to the specialists. I know we're like going super hard on like the negatives. I know some people are like, I got a couple tweets like, why are you hating on the specialist? It's like,
is there anybody saying positives in the chat? I mean, go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, I mean, I know. I feel like the only reason that we're talking about it like this specifically, like getting in on the nitty gritty, is because like we care about it so much that we don't want to see something like ruin the game in an instant. So I don't want anyone to think that we're like hating on the new thing, because like all these features are amazing. We're just trying to touch up on little things that we can see to make it better. So I don't want anyone to get the like a negative like thought on what we're saying about it, because it's hard to explain, but just know that we're not hating on it. We're just touching on the little things that we can see to make it better, kind of. So, but kind of just talking about it, like I said, I think personally it leaves it up to the casters' analysis to speak on more strategy. We kind of already touched on this and stuff like that. But kind of speaking on the casters, they also got some new features in this Black Ops 3 reveal as well. I don't know if Goalie shows that image or not that I put in the document. Did you use it, Goalie? If you didn't, it's okay. I'm not mad. It's all right. Well, I'm kind of looking at it right now, and it kind of has like the regular scoreboard at the top. Has the kills, just about every single. It's normal. It looks just like it normally does. But in the top left corner, the map's a little bit smaller than I would say I like. But there is a really cool thing at the bottom that you can kind of look at overall look at the players. You can see what team they're on. They have the team colors and stuff. You can also spectate. The two things I think that they could fix are the map size, because in Advanced Warfare, I would say 70 or 80% of the time, especially in Hardpoint, the only thing that I'm watching is the mini-map.
Is the mini-map.
Right, because of how fast this game is. Obviously, it'll be a bit slower, but I feel like for Black Ops 3, like you can only, it's like the triangles are just running in together and you have no idea what's going on. Like I feel like that's the only problem. And also the kill feed was all white. Apparently they're going to change that. I'd like to see it expanded a little bit more, but did you guys see anything that you disliked or liked about the new casting features? I know kind of coming from a caster and also a viewer perspective. It's up to anyone who wants to.
Yeah, I was looking at it and I was like, oh my god, this is beautiful. Like at first I looked at the text for the kill feed and I was like, first off, I have absolutely terrible vision. And everything looked great. Everything really stood out and popped out to me. Like, really, most of the mistakes that I make when I'm casting, like if I'm speaking, is because I read a name wrong or something. And I just didn't see myself doing that with this caster mode. The only issue that I had that really stood out to me was one, like you said, the size of the minimap in the top left corner. That is extremely helpful on following the action. I think it should be bigger. And then the kill feed, I like how the text is white, but I still think that it needs to be obvious that immediately this guy is on this team. So that if you don't know the rosters of the two teams playing, you at least know who is getting the kill. So I think that something that would be interesting is if we still have the example up on screen like we do now on my previous. Okay, the little arrow that you can see on the very first person's name, Noobtown. You see that colored arrow? If we had those colored arrows to the left or something of every name in the kill feed while also making it slightly bigger, that would be much easier than coloring in the names and making it hard to see through live streams.
Exactly. I think I looked at a trailer from I think like kind of near the game where they had the multiplayer reveal. From that, they actually had the team colors in the kill feed. So I don't know in this one if they're just have it a little bit differently. If it's, I'm sure they're going to customize that. Yeah. But overall, besides the color of the kill feed, I think it needs to be expanded a little bit, maybe a little bit wider. I think while they are trying to make it a little bit like smaller to like not cover up the screen, I do think it needs to be a little bit bigger because the kill feed's very important. It's basically like the if you're not watching the game, you can still kind of see what's going on through the kill feed in a sense. But from what Mr. X and Maven said, they seem to really, really enjoy it. And a major thing in the casting, kind of genre, what they have is called the player widget, which is actually a little thing that pops up to the right from the player. The bottom left, you guys can see the spectator type thing. It has Newtown. It actually comes out to the right, and it's called a player widget. It talks about what gun they have. It shows what perks they're running, their specialists. Just about every single thing that you need to know is in that little player widget, which is really cool. And personally, that was probably my favorite thing that's also kind of new in the game. But there are a couple display settings that are going to be a lot different into Black Ops 3 as well. You can actually change the color of the actual team emblem. So, for instance, if you have, let's just say, Denial versus FaZe, you can have an orange background for Denial. You can have, FaZe. You can have also a red background for FaZe. And they haven't announced this yet, but you can have different type of images. Like they have, look like a lion and a couple different different images. Yeah. I think you can change it possibly to team emblems, which I'm really hoping that they do. That's just me personally. I think that would make it a little bit better. I'm asking you guys, would you rather have an all legitimate type of codcaster mode? Like, for instance, now we have an overlay for the stream. Do you guys prefer having an overlay to the stream, or would you rather it just be the game, like the legit game, or would you rather have that type of thing?
It depends on how much goes into that. If you have to make every single one of those emblems, then, no. I would just say make an overlay because they're already made. Like, if you have to go into like an emblem editor and make the Envy logo and make the OG logo, I would say there's no way because of the changes that happen in our community. You'd be making new teams all the time, and it wouldn't be fair, I guess, for the smaller teams when they came on because you probably didn't make theirs in advance.
Yeah.
So
can I step in on this, please?
Sure.
Yeah, I was gonna.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Goalie does a lot of this stuff, so I'm pretty sure he's more experience with it. Go for it.
Yeah. So if they could find a way to put the emblems in game, and I was thinking the best way to do it is put all the logos of every team that you need on a flash drive and installed onto your PS4 somehow, and then you'd be able to use the image system to embed it in the game. That would make it so much easier, especially as production wise, because during every kill cam right now, when you're watching the game, you have to switch scenes as a producer because otherwise the overlay is going to be blocking some of the the round ending kill cam, and it would just make it 10 times easier to have the overlay in game. That we don't have to worry about that at all as production. So.
Yeah, and I don't think it would just be like an emblem, made in the create an emblem. I think it would actually be the legitimate pictures. You would have the FaZe.png logo. It wouldn't just be like a team emblem that you made. Yeah, 100%. But I would assume that. Yeah, I would assume in ranked, maybe, or not in ranked, but if you have a team versus team, you can maybe have an emblem system or not. I'm not really sure, but that could, also be an option as well. We'll see what happens. I'm really looking forward to it. I saw someone put in the chat, and I'm not, calling them out, but they said that they don't think the player widget will be used as much. The only thing the reason why we don't use it in AW is because it's not really that important. Like, what are they going to be running? The BAL or the ASM1?
Yeah,
and
plus it sometimes doesn't even update when they switch classes. It still shows they have a BAL. It's not even worth going through because you know what they're using already.
Right, exactly. Personally, I use it sometimes, but I only use it whenever I'm not on stream. If someone else is talking about it, I'll look at it really quick, go through all the players' guns. For this, it's not at all in the way. It's kind of in the very, very bottom. It's not noticeable at all, really. Unless you kind of point it out, you're not really going to notice it. It looks like an actual production put on type of thing, which I'm just really excited about it. I think overall this type of casting system looks really, really good. All the settings that the casters have and are enabled to them is truly phenomenal, I guess you could say. But we're going to move on to the next thing of Black Ops 3. I know we have a lot of stuff to talk about, but is Arena. And this is basically the new League Play type of, I guess you could say, lobby system or whatever. Obviously, League Play was famously known in Black Ops 2. It's basically ranked and goes in Advanced Warfare, the same type of system. But it's now called Arena for Black Ops 3. It's based on individual skill to be ranked, and to move forward, it's based on winning. So from what I've heard, and from what David Vonderhaar said, there's 20 ranks along with the Master Division. There's 4 to 5 tiers for each rank, and for each tier, there's 4 to 5 levels. So basically, since there's 20 ranks, there's either 4 or 5 levels, or there's 4 or 5 tiers. I know it's kind of hard to explain. So there's like bronze, gold, silver, whatever you want to say, that type of system. And that, like, going through those ranks is all based on skill. But when it comes to switching through tiers, so like for instance, silver to gold or gold to platinum, that's through winning, and it's through a certain win streak that you have to get, which is what David Vonderhaar said. So I personally am a really big fan of this.
Yeah, it sounds like AW. Don't they do that? Like, don't you get points, and then to go from silver to gold, you have to actually win 3 matches or something like that?
See, he didn't say the exact number of it's basically, it's similar, but I'm not sure how. I'm not sure like how many.
Need to go on a bigger win streak. And I honestly feel like he's not going to give us all the information about the ranking system, just so that people can't manipulate it. I think he's going to leave it just so just how CS goes, and I think it's interesting that they're copying a lot of League of Legends things too, because I don't play League of Legends, but to my understanding and from what people have told me that do play League of Legends, that this is very similar to their ranking system. And I think Vonderhaar has alluded to them taking things from League of Legends a couple of times throughout the entire esports reveal. So I like it. Take whatever you want from League of Legends.
Yeah, right.
I don't mind it.
Well, my question is, I guess it's twofold, but is this going to bring back host booters?
That was my problem too.
And the second question is this going to bring back using this system to qualify for COD champs?
For your first thing about host booters and everything, I talked about that in my video too. I'm really upset that I didn't hear him say anything about how they're addressing cheaters. I didn't hear him mention an in-game reporting system, which we can assume there will be an in-game reporting system, but no mention of them doing things differently from what they did in the past, right? We didn't hear any mentions of dedicated servers or IP masking. We didn't hear anything about cheaters and DDoSers and how they would try and read how that's going on. Nothing about that was addressed at all. So that leads me to believe they're not doing anything different about it, even though it's becoming a more serious issue. And as far as people getting into COD Champs and stuff like that, even though COD Champs hasn't been announced, we can assume it's going to be one. There's going to be one.
In the job description for the...
Yeah. We can still... every year from now on, as long as esports is the way it is, we can assume it's going to be a COD Champs. But I would like to see a qualifier in the game, as long as they have the system a lot better than they did the first time around. I'd love to see it happen again.
Yeah, I think that there's a lot of things they can do with ranked. Like I know you guys mentioned, I think them copying League of Legends is that's smart. Like, for anyone that says that's copying, the only reason why people are very successful in certain aspects is because they took things from other people and turn it into their own way, which I'm personally a very big fan of that. So I think that League play is very interesting. I know we don't have an exact answer for cheaters, but we also have kind of an answer how they kind of combat D-rankers in a sense. So, for instance, if I'm in silver, so say I make it, I'm just going to label it this way. This isn't how it's going to work necessarily, but let's just say there's 5 tiers in silver. So there's silver 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
He just said he said, I'm tired of playing router roulette.
Oh, yeah?
That's what it is.
It really is. I mean, apparently PC has dedicated servers, but COD has had dedicated servers for the past 2 years, which is not entirely true. So, who knows? But go ahead, Landon. I just thought that what Zoe said that was hilarious.
No, I know. It's just that's the only problem that we have to deal with besides this. But how they're going to dealing with people deranking, who, for those who don't know, kind of in Black Ops 2 sometimes in League Play or in other ranking systems, they'll intentionally do bad or they'll run around the map, they'll just jump around to get deranked so they can play against the easier skilled players. To combat derankers, so for instance, if I'm in silver, let's just say I'm silver 2, the farthest I can go back is silver 5. I cannot go back to a previous tier. I can't go back to bronze if I'm in silver. If I'm in gold, I can't go back to silver. So you're always going forward, but you don't have to worry about your teammates doing bad on purpose. And so, like, if I'm in silver, for instance, say I'm playing AW, and I finally made it to silver, I don't have to worry about going back to bronze because of my teammates or because of myself being an idiot. I can just I can just keep advancing forward. I really like that system. And I was going to ask your guys' opinion. Do you guys like that, or do you guys think that that has any bad things that could come from it? I'm just curious your guys' thoughts on it.
I like it a whole lot. I just think that we need people. This needs to be a very well-populated playlist. So it's just, the fact that it's still on 360 and PS3 kind of hurts that, but we just got to hope that everyone's upgrading, or more people are upgrading, and more people populate this playlist and enjoy it. It has to be an enjoyable experience.
Now, I thought this playlist was not on 360 and PS3.
It's not.
You're right, it is not. So I'm just saying that there are less people playing it because there are people buying it on 360 and PS3 still.
Oh,
instead.
the game in general. Okay.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you guys really quick, since they aren't going to have ranked, or excuse me, not ranked, they're not going to have arena on previous gen, do you think that they might use that server power onto this one at all? Or do you guys think they're just going to just make money off of not having it? Just make Kingdoms about money?
I feel like there's no reason why we don't have that. Forza has dedicated servers. Why does Call of Duty not have dedicated servers? At this
have
point, when the when the Xbox One was announced, they were like, everybody gets dedicated servers. Call of Duty still doesn't have it. It still doesn't. There's no reason to ever have us be peer to peer.
That's a good question though, by A Payne.
Yeah, I was about to
say.
Like, can anybody answer that? Like, what are dedicated servers? Like, what is the actual benefit of having it? Like, we talk about it a lot in our community because we hate how much connection determines the outcome of a lot of games. Like, I was playing Black Ops 2 with you, Fox, the other day, and it got so bad I had to get off. Like, I was like, this is horrible. Like, I can't get somebody, and I know, and I can tell when it's connection and me being a detriment, and so it's like, it was just, it gets to that point where it's so frustrating, and even on AW sometimes I feel the same way, and
Black Ops 2
play. Go ahead.
That was probably one of the worst. That was probably like one of the worst parts of Black Ops 2. It was definitely. It was actually that was the worst part. The what?
The hit reg itself and connection was bad.
Exactly, and those combined with each other is just the recipe for disaster. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think
first of all, you could be host and you could be destroying. You could be host and have like the perfect connection, and then the hit reg is still a little off. You know what I mean?
Right.
So when you're off host, it's just god awful. But so hopefully with Black Ops 3, there's a way to make that better. But for does anyone want to answer the dedicated server question?
I'll answer really briefly. Basically, dedicated servers it's like a God, it's so weird to say. It's like a host that isn't actually playing the game. Essentially, so instead of Mochilla being the server, it's one thing to be the server, and it's another thing to have just a better ping towards the server. So it's like a neutral party, essentially that everyone's connecting to. So instead of me having just pretty much no ping at all, I could have 20 ping or 40 ping, and you could have 30 ping or something like that. Instead of it's just stuff like that. It's a separate party that everyone connects to. So it's not peer to peer.
Yeah, it's not instead of, let's host up and have this guy host the lobby, it's let's host up, have the game host it so that no one has an advantage over like, obviously internet will come into play, but instead of having this guy, like you mentioned, with 0 ping and then 20 ping, everyone has 20 to 40 or something like that. No one has a crazy amount of advantage because they're hosting the lobby. Exactly. Which I think would be really big for us, but we've never seen it before. But maybe with the PS4, maybe having next-gen consoles, they might have that opportunity to put it in the game. Well, who knows? But I'm sure there's definitely a lot more stuff to be announced. But probably my favorite thing of the entire Black Ops 3 reveal was kind of announced near the end, which was the live event viewer. Now, this is something that I think could revolutionize our viewership. Not that we don't have a lot of viewers, because we do. But this could literally double it at times, maybe even triple. I'm not really sure the capabilities of how they'll have it. But at the event, David Vonderhaar announces at the live event, like I mentioned, the live event viewer, meaning that through your console and through the game, you'll be able to watch the games happen. Now, I haven't heard for sure, maybe you guys can answer this, if you can watch the stream from the game on your console, or you can actually be in the actual game. Like, I know for CSGO, for instance, there's like a certain tab that you can go to, and you can actually be in the game, have the exact same perspective that casters have, or if you have just an option to watch the stream.
You can't do that on console though, can you? Like there's
That's
an
the thing.
limited
I have no idea.
On CS, you can yes, you can go in and you can watch random games.
Yeah,
you can
CS,
watch random games
I'm
going
talking
on.
about on console
I know.
gaming. You
They
can have
haven't.
unlimited
I'm not
number of people in the lobby. But I think you can, like you were saying, Landon. I think you can. It is going to revolutionize it. It's just the same thing that happens to Champs when it goes on the Xbox dashboard. It's like if people go and click on like when I go to play 2K15, I go to play that game, I can watch people's streams that are streaming that game right now, and it links it to Twitch. But it's like if we can go in the game and there's a link or something that says that COD is live, there are so many fans that have never been introduced still to Call of Duty esports that may from something like that.
I was really happy about that announcement too, and I was really happy that Von der Haar was really pressing the issue of introducing casual players to our Call of Duty esports world to show that it's really not that different.
And this is where they have to make a decision. Are they going to be broadcasting MLG's stream?
Exactly.
Or are they going to take it over and broadcast their own content?
How weird was it seeing?
What'd you say?
How weird was it seeing Call of Duty on Twitch in the first place?
I got goosebumps. I'm not gonna lie.
It was strange. Yeah.
Going to the previous broadcasts of Call of Duty,
I'm sure GB was smiling.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Y'all know who GB is. Bogey, my dog's in here.
There was another thing. I know you were kind of talking about the live event viewer, whether it'll be in the game or not. Like Keenan said, I have no idea if consoles can even handle that or not. But we haven't heard if it's coming to Xbox. That would be my only problem. If, for instance, they're having a PS4 lobby, and I don't like Xbox people trying to connect to that lobby, that just wouldn't work. So I don't know if it'll be the stream. That means everyone can watch it, or if it would just be the PS4 lobby and it's only exclusive to PS4 people, because I don't understand how Xbox users could join that. So that's the definite positive note for PC users, because they're all in the same system. Like, they don't have to worry about differentiality, coming to certain things. So I think that this is really good. I want to ask you guys thoughts on the live event viewer, and what does this mean really for competitive COD? I don't think that people really realize how big this is.
Nobody knows, dude.
Hitch, speak about it. I want to hear you.
People just don't get it. People don't understand how big of a thing this is. Like, what I think is going to happen, I think it's going to be a lot like the Xbox One dashboard, where you can see people streaming, but I think it's going to be a lot more accessible and a lot easier to see. I think there's just going to be literally play match, play pubs, play arena, and then it'll say watch something. I think it's going to be right there, for people just to click on. And then when it's a huge imagine COD Champs weekend, because that's put on by Activision, and everything is going to be in the game. It's going to be promoted to the highest of levels. And so whenever I feel like you're going to get onto the game and the whole screen is just going to be watch Champs here, and there's going to be arrows pointing to the tab when you just watch it. So I feel like there's going to be I think we're going to break viewership numbers this year, just like we did last time. And
I think we definitely will too.
Now, are we I guess I have the document here, but are we answering the question about Activision and all that, or are we going to wait till there's some more information about it?
What do you mean exactly?
Activision and all that.
Opinion on whether or not Activision... I mean, there's lots of hints in the community. There's lots of underground intel that we may possibly... The streaming platform for our esport may be drastically changing. But MLG has had that role for so long. Would Activision basically hire them, or I don't even know how any of that would work. It would seem like a weird change to make when the game's only 2 months out.
MLG is not going to go anywhere. MLG have run tournaments for Call of Duty since Black Ops 1. It's just that was before MLG.TV. So the MLG.TV thing might happen with that, whereas the online league and everything will be broadcasted on MLG.TV, but then say we have a tournament that's put on by Activision or something like that, and that could be on Twitch. MLG.TV, I don't think it's going anywhere, but neither is MLG. And the Twitch tournaments will still be run by MLG, in my opinion. That's what I think is going to happen.
See, the only thing that I could see is that MLG, if they host, let's say MLG Columbus, that tournament will be exclusively on MLG.TV. If it's, say, Activision has their own tournament, let's just say it's not COD Champs instead, but it's a big tournament, I'd say that probably is ran on ESL on Twitch, but MLG will have it on their channel as well. Like you can watch both. I don't know how that, I don't know if that's for sure, but I think that could maybe happen.
There's no way that first of all, if like it's a very big possibility that we could see Call of Duty on Twitch next year, but it's pretty much impossible that MLG is going to get, cut out of the deal, because it's not going to happen, because the only reason we're here is because of MLG.
Yeah,
and the only people that run, Call of Duty streams the best are MLG and Gfinity. But
yeah.
So I think we're not going anywhere. There's nothing to worry about.
Adam actually hinted sort of towards something. There was a thread made on the COD competitive subreddit that says MLG. It was a question, but it was a little speculation. It said MLG and Twitch possibly partnering for Black Ops 3, and I'll go ahead and link the thread in the chat for anyone that wants to see it. But Adam got top comment, and it was gilded. He says, wow. Who knows what could happen? So we don't have enough information, but just something like that. Yeah, Seek. We don't know what's going on. I'm just excited to see what happens. I would like to see it. I'd like to see COD move over to Twitch and MLG TV and YouTube Gaming. I'd like to see Call of Duty reach out to everywhere.
Dude, I've said that for so long, man.
Yeah,
like people think it's an MLG.
Would you broadcast an event on all of them at the same time?
You could.
We've done it before. We've done it this year.
Well,
Dota got streamed everywhere. The international.
I think MLG was just like, hey, we'll do this too. But I know Halo recently signed a partnership with MLG, and in their title, like for partnerships, they have MLG, they have Twitch, and a bunch of other stuff. I've never seen MLG and Twitch's name together before. So I don't know if they're gonna have MLG events on Twitch, Twitch events on MLG. I don't know how it's gonna work.
They could, because the HCS tournament at MLG, Twitch, and YouTube are partnering up. So why couldn't they do this?
Right.
Too,
who knows? It could
people always think that like people seem to forget sometimes that like the people over at MLG understand. It's not just like they're not turning a blind eye to the fact that Twitch is bigger than they are and Twitch gets more viewers than they are. So understanding that they understand what's going on in our entire community, then they can, have the ability to make the moves that are necessary in order to make us grow to the highest, possible way that we could grow, if that makes sense. Like people just think that they understand it better than MLG, and that's just the immaturity of our community sometimes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think like no one really realizes, like, not hating on the last two games that we've had, but had it not been for MLG support,
don't worry about it.
There was no way, no way. I'm not like being like an MLG like person, like, oh my god, we love MLG, we're on MLG.TV, yay. Like they have done so much for us. We would probably, I'm not saying we would be dead, but we could possibly be having Halo numbers right now if it's not for them running these tournaments. That's the only thing that I'm saying. Like the tournaments that they put on, the World Tournament that they don't even have to have, that they're just adding into it because they want us to like enjoy it. Whether there's stuff behind it or not, I don't know. But having a tournament like that, like I feel like we're like biting the hand that feeds us. Like, thank you MLG, but we'll see you guys later. It's like had they not been here, we would not even be experiencing what we are right now. I think had it not been for them not being a bandwagoner, but I have to give respect to where I think it's due. And I think if MLG would not have been here, we would be so far behind that maybe even Call of Duty wouldn't even consider partnering with us because we think that we're a lost cause. Like I think that could even possibly run into it. But I'm really excited for the first event. Advanced Warfare had 200,000 viewers apparently. That's what like it was going around.
A little over 200K before it was DDoSed. Yeah.
Right. Can you imagine Black Ops 3 first event going to be on the live event viewer? Like I'm getting goosebumps.
And possibly Twitch. And
possibly
Twitch too. MLG. And possibly YouTube Gaming.
I just want more information. So my speculation can be more accurate. I'm really excited to see what information comes up in the next few months.
Yeah,
we'll definitely find out. But I'm excited. Are you guys excited? Are you guys excited for this?
It's every year I get excited for these games. I even got excited for Ghost, but that was like that. Ghost is like it's like my wife said she was pregnant, and then after she had the baby, I was like, man, I wish she would have had a miscarriage. That's what Ghost is.
Oh my god.
That was Ghost for me. That's how bad of a game it was. But I have high hopes for Black Ops 3 being the baby that I've always wanted.
You just did it.
I don't even know. I blacked out for a second. Where am I?
Goalie, I think we should run a commercial break. I think we need to run a commercial break.
I understand what you're saying completely. I get it. I get you. No, I understand though. Like we were all really hyped up because we were just coming off of the Black Ops 2 hype.
Yeah. Oh, look at Hitch's face. I
love how you did that, Fuck. You're like, no, I understand. Okay, never mind.
Never seen an MLG TV chat.
Oh my god.
No, but I get exactly what you mean. We were all coming off the Black Ops 2 hype. You were wondering where could anything go wrong. And
oh man.
And then Ghost was sort of a letdown to the esports community, but yeah, I get what you're saying. So, you think we talked enough about the whole Call of Duty active business for Black Ops 3? Landon, you all right, dude? You got to recharge real quick.
I need to plug myself in.
No, that's fine. Yeah, Call of Duty over to PS4, but so I guess other things shown. We can move on to more stuff that was shown. The M8 is back. Uplink has returned. We're just talking about stuff that has returned from the past. The VSAT is now called the HATR. The Hater is what I'm going to call it.
VSAT is called the Hater?
Yeah, it's called the Hater.
I really like this. I saw someone mention it, but I also saw a video about it. It's called the Hater. I don't know. It's called H.at.tr. I said that wrong. Either way, it's like kind of like an acronym. Either way, it's the VSAT, but it's possible to be taken out this time. Like you can take it out with a rocket launcher, which I'm kind of excited about in a way. As much as I love the VSAT, having the opposition get a VSAT is probably like the worst thing in the world. Like I don't know if anyone else feels that way or not, but
wait, what are you saying? What is the worst thing in the world?
The worst thing in the world is getting a VSAT on the other team getting a VSAT on you because they know exactly where you are.
Yeah, I mean, when you get in pub, pretty much
spotted or whatever it says.
It's pretty much a massacre for the next 60 seconds.
Yeah, so I'm kind of glad that's going to be taken out in some way. Like, it's there, but you have to have a launcher to take it out still. I think it's kind of interesting. And I know Kingdom mentioned this earlier in the show, but we were kind of hinting at COD Champs, so some of the other things that were shown. There was like a job application as like the head of esports type of deal for Activision. They're also talking about a possible championship thing that you'd be running that you'd have to connect with everyone with. So that's kind of hinting at a championship. We kind of all know that Call of Duty Championships will happen. We just didn't know who would be running it, how it would happen. So with this, there's going to be some type of championship that Activision hosts. Will it be COD Champs necessarily? I don't know. It'll be some type of thing. So I'm kind of interested to see how we do with that. But I was going to ask you guys kind of to end out the Call of Duty Black Ops 2 talk. I know this is or Black Ops 3 talk. I know this kind of was like half the show. I'm just seeing the tweets on Twitter right now of Kingdom. But either way, what was your guys' favorite thing announced of the entire presentation?
Oh no, goalie!
I'm trying, show.
I'm
trying. I know.
Was I the kid the Kingdom didn't want? Is that what that tweet's supposed to mean?
Oh my god, dude.
We're taking a break. We need to take a commercial break.
Yeah, we do.
This is just not happening.
We need a timeout.
Well, we're running an ad. I need to I don't know. Run an ad. I'm out of here.
Okay, guys, I guess we'll be back in 90 seconds. Enjoy the music.
I don't know.
Use what?
Hello and welcome back to the STiKS Live. Fox here. Landon, we got Kingdom with the blacked out screen, back in black, Call of Duty Black Ops 3, and we got Hitch here, who might not be able to stick around for the rest of the show with us. Unfortunately, we do love you, Hitch. But we're going to move on to our next topic here. If you're following along on your sidebar that I actually can't see, I'm going to assume the next topic is the Pro League reset. We're going to tie this into Vulcan, because we already talked about this early in the beginning of the stream. So we're just going to get into this really quickly. But the Pro League is actually going to reset. MLG is also inviting all of the teams out to to the studio to play their matches or to play their the tournament or their match or something like that. But I'm going to actually go ahead and read the announcement for you here instead of failing at the paraphrasing. For the past few weeks, Teams in the Season 3 Call of Duty Pro League have had some connectivity issues, which have compromised the field of play and put results into question. After conferring with the teams, we'll be moving forward with the following course of action. Results so far will be wiped, and all teams will start 0-0. Each team will play 11 total matches, one against each league team. So this is going in with how they're also, not hosting their matches on Vulcan, which was pretty much the main catalyst of these issues, rather. All 12 teams will be invited to the LAN finals in September with league standings used for seeding. We will announce format details at a later date. Meaning, hey, stuff's hitting the fan. We don't have it figured out yet. So wait a second. Matches will be rescheduled. Matches will be scheduled by MLG with consultation from the teams, and results will be updated post-match. Live streaming of league matches will be done at the discretion of the teams. Do you guys like how this situation was handled? Just very briefly, what do you guys think? Landon?
I think that all the pro players handled it really well. I was kind of curious how they would handle it, in a sense like, oh no, the matches that we had before the DDoSing, blah, blah, blah. I think they're just happy that it's over with for now. They can stream at their discretion whether they want to or not. So I think it was handled pretty well. From what we saw on Twitter, the pro players seemed to be really happy about it. This was kind of like hinting at what it was going to be. Like, let's just send all 12 players there. We'll just finish up a couple matches, and so everyone can go and compete. The bottom 4 obviously go to the relegation. I personally like how it was handled. I thought MLG did a really good job with it. While I wasn't a fan of the DDoSing attacks, and it wasn't fixed after a really long time, how they kind of finished it off, I think they did it pretty well. I like the system that they chose. So yes.
All right, Hitch, what do you think?
I'm still in shock. What are we talking about?
For those who don't know,
Pro League stuff.
They're asking what happened to Kingdom. His wife basically just came in and they're like, the lights just went off. We have no idea what's happening right now. If we hear screaming, well, we're going to take a live.
Said something about SOS, but I don't know what sauce is. So I don't.
What kind of sauce, Kingdom?
Yeah,
We'll see Kingdom's face go past the screen every once in a while, like. Oh my god!
Oh no! All right.
It's his face once again.
I like how this. Jeez. Oh my god! I like how this was. I like how this was handled, though, with the Pro League. It took a proper course of action. A lot of the pro players were asking for a change. Pretty vocally on Twitter, we saw lots of very angry tweets and everything about it. No one was happy with what was going on in the league. Fans weren't either. Even with me watching, I just didn't enjoy watching the league because I was like, oh, now they got to play this game 3v4. Or now they got to, they have to get a sub and stuff. So results were skewed. It was kind of hard to create talking points based on Pro League results if none of the results are accurate, or most of the results weren't accurate. So I think it's cool to see MLG taking this step. The players were trying to. I think they did everything right from the start. Like they were just like, okay, so let's.
They could, yeah.
Like they were like, okay, let's send information out to our players. Let's teach them how to protect themselves, as in changing their IP and getting them all TeamSpeak servers so they don't have to use Skype. That's good, and. And then the next day they were like, all right, this isn't working. So unfortunately it did take a while, but they ended their partnership with Vulcan. Did they do it in a timely manner? Not really, but I'm pretty sure none of us are experienced with, handling people DDoSing our league, and it's unfortunate that Xbox couldn't maybe step in and improve security features or something like that, but that's just where we're at with console esports. So I guess, does anyone else have anything else they want to say about this issue, about this recent current event?
Not really. Just I'm happy that it's over, I guess. People can finally move on, and if they want to stream it, they can. And that the DDoSing has finally kind of been combated. I'm just kind of nervous, in a sense, for Black Ops 3 when the league does happen, however it does, if there even will be a certain league that MLG hosts, how we'll deal with that. We still haven't found the exact problem. As far as I know people have caused speculation. The other thing with that is that this can't happen for Black Ops 3. Oh my god.
Dad, no!
If someone can screen cap that as soon as it happens, please.
Hold on, I'm going to type in the chat. Get your screenshots ready.
Have your tool ready.
I missed it. What happened?
Just watch the stream. This is probably like
the stream died for me. What?
Oh,
we're Gucci.
This is probably like the worst.
Moving on
audio
to the next topic, though. The Dota 2 International. Really not going to sit here and talk about the entire tournament itself. We're going to talk more about how it affects COD esports as a whole, I guess, because the Dota 2 International, for those of you guys who don't know, was a very large Dota tournament that had an $18.7 million prize pool, something like that. And that's a fraction of the money that Valve made from the crowdfunding. Most of that money came from crowdfunding. Valve put in a little over $1 million into the pot themselves, and then they had their crowdfunding come in. So people are talking about how Call of Duty should have crowdfunding. That's been a big topic recently because of how big these tournaments are getting. In Halo announced crowdfunding for their tournament. I saw someone. I was thinking about like, why not? Why not have crowdfunding? It seems like such a great idea, right? Someone was talking about in a Reddit thread. I don't remember which one it was. I think it was in the Global Offensive subreddit. They were talking about how companies might not want to do it because if the crowdfunding tournament for one tournament is really big and it's really, not as good for the next one, it might seem like there's a decline of the game or that company seems inferior, for whatever it may be. I never really thought about it that way. I don't entirely agree with it, but I think that's a very good talking point. What do you guys think? You guys think that's really the only valid reason that they're not doing crowdfunding yet?
I don't know why they're not doing crowdfunding.
Yeah, I mean, it also could be that there's lots of like red tape behind the scenes that a bunch of different things you have to go through to get something like that in game. But that's just that was just a good point the guy brought up in the Reddit thread that they could just not want to do it because it could make the game look bad if the money is lower.
It could be. I'm not sure. The topic of crowdfunding is like kind of hard to talk about because it's like, why aren't they doing it? I have no idea. What would be the problem with crowdfunding? Nothing. I don't think it doesn't benefit.
We don't know enough, right?
It's like we don't know the nitty gritty behind everything that happens. But I'm not going to shut myself out. But I did do a little bit of math. Okay.
Wow.
But how the Dota 2 tournament worked out is that they had like it wasn't like, oh, here, donate to the thing, we'll take 75% of this. It was called the Compendium, and you could buy this type of thing. You get certain game content in Dota 2, which is the tournament that we're talking about. 25% of that, so for each purchase of the Compendium, 25% of that went to the tournament. So $18.3 million in the tournament. I times that, and overall from the Compendium so far, they've made $55,250,910 from one thing of game content. Like that is, and I think progressively as the prize pool got higher, they got certain rewards. So it was kind of like a what's that one system that people do all the time to like get money and stuff? It's like
get money.
No, it's like you like donate money to like kind of get behind a certain.
There's a word for this. Are you talking about? Wait,
Hitch, you did it for a while to get Xbox One. What was that called?
It's called crowdfunding. The word is crowdfunding.
GoFundMe? What are you talking about?
Yeah, it's something like that. Like, it's like one of those. Well, do you know what I'm talking about? Kickstarter. Thank you. Yeah, it's like a Kickstarter. Yeah. Like you get a certain. Like as the prize pool rises, you get certain things along with it. Like I know, like whenever you donate to a certain cause, like if it's a success, you get, for instance, if you donate to a movie to be made, you get the first copy of the movie, or you get your name in the credits of the movie. Like you get something toward it, and I think that would be something really, really big. But I know Fox is asking us, why do we not have crowdfunding? I have no idea. I think that
we can't know. Right?
As large of an audience as we have, it would be wonderful.
Yeah, and as how much we buy DLC, it just works perfectly for us. We buy more DLC than we need to.
Yeah. Especially if it's in MLG rotation also. Like, if they have it in... I don't know if they'll have it in Arena or not, but if they have certain DLC maps mentioned in there, like people buy that.
Imagine if they had an eSports map pack where it was like two or three linear maps that are going to be used in Arena rotations, and you bought that. Proceeds of that go to a tournament, and then you also have customization packs where you could get like an optic hat or like a Envious backpack, something like that, and then proceeds of that would go to the tournament as well. We could freaking have a $17 billion tournament next month. You know what I mean?
The thing is, we can't really guess how much money we would make on this DLC because, one, we don't know what the DLC would be. We don't know figures on how much DLC is purchased for normal DLC, and and we don't know how much, like, what the deal would be, like the fraction of it, just how, like, it was something like 25% for Dota. So we can't really predict the figure. So,
it was really, really nice. I'm not trying to like interrupt you, but Steam, like the taxes that you get off of it, obviously, if you make a certain amount of money, they'll like cut that certain amount of money out, like so you get a fraction of that. or not. You get a larger portion, but sometimes like taxes come out and you don't make as much. What Steam did, I think it was Steam or Valve, they actually took all of that out. So they made sure that each player is getting all the money that they're guaranteed. So if you made $1.3 million in like how it normally works, a percentage of that goes to the government. And basically, what Steam and Valve did, they covered all of those costs. So those guys are 100% getting all the money from this tournament. Like none of it's coming out, which I thought was really, really nice. Like I don't know if Call of Duty would ever consider doing that, but I just thought that was something to point out. I really respected that a lot.
Yeah. So would you like to move on to questions from Twitter, or do we have a little bit more to talk about with the international?
I don't think there's much more to talk about. I was just I always like to compliment myself in some ways because I look up things. I looked up the tie.
We're all very proud of you, Landon.
Thank you. I know this is I have to like compliment my things and whatnot. But I actually looked at the top 30 highest overall earnings for esports players, and obviously this does involve crowdfunding in some way. 29 out of the 30 are all Dota 2 players. Like all of them in the top categories are 29 out of 30 Dota 2 players. Out of the top 75, 53 of them are all Dota 2 players as well. And the top being is Universe. I believe he was on the team that won this tournament, which is Evil Geniuses. And he's banked $1.9 million and a couple amount of tournaments, which are mostly crowdfunded. So there are so many opportunities for pro players to earn money through, to make a living off of it. And I think a big deal is talking about, we even had Nestle on the show. He was like, I'm a pro player. I shouldn't have to make content, even though that's how you do make money. Like not all pro players are meant to be like a comedian or meant to be a YouTube maker or have editing skills. They just want to play the game, and I think that's the only thing. So,
and he had a good point with that, except that this is Call of Duty, and this is kind of like, that's like Call of Duty's thing, is the YouTube content and what really keeps it going. It's not like Dota or CS where you don't have to stream or do YouTube if you don't want, or do YouTube
Goalie,
if you don't want to. So
yeah,
Goalie, check the chat.
I think we're going to do really quickly to kind of transition this to make it easier on Goalie. I think we're going to head to a commercial break really quickly. When we return, we're going to have questions from Twitter. I think Goalie is going to step in for Hitch, kind of like sub in the sense like you're not going to tag each other out. And I think that's how it's going to work. So Hitch, if you want to say goodbye. And
bye, guys. That was like super entertaining. Such a great STiKS. Like one of the better ones I've ever been on. It was a lot of fun, especially the beginning talking about like the roles and stuff like that. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I was really interesting too.
Really excited to see Kingdoms saying dropping the A-bomb on everybody again in the YouTube VOD. But thank you guys so much for watching, and see you next time.
Are you on the show now? Are we subbing you in officially?
We're good. We're here.
Okay.
We're all good now.
Okay, I know. Did they hear you or did they hear our conversation between me and Fox? Because I was giving out I was like telling my like social security and stuff. I just want to make sure that.
Landon was being extremely and incredibly racist, and it was.
They definitely heard you guys. No, they heard me, and I have no clue how audio sounds. So just yell at me in the chat if it sounds like trash. So
I think you sound great. To be honest with you.
Thank you. I always sound great though.
Not to be weird. All right. Well, I think we should do a question from Twitter now, which is what we post on Twitter. You guys always come with questions. We answer them on the show, and we're going to talk about them, kind of discuss them as well. And you guys had a lot of good questions. A lot of them we actually mentioned on the show, which I knew we would. So I apologize if your question wasn't mentioned. A lot of the time we do answer them, in the usual topics that we have. But the first question, Glenn, you have these ready? From the first one from Juan.
I'm making it happen. We'll
making
just
it
go
happen?
with the flow. So.
All right, I'm gonna say it really slowly so that hopefully you can have it up on the screen. All right, so the first question.
My image won't be on the screen, but we're fine with that.
All right, we're okay. Well, Juan, hopefully you're okay with this one. But this first question is coming from Juan Medina. He asks, what are your individual opinions on should we have coaches in Black Ops 3? I know we talked about this a little bit. I didn't know if we would be discussing it or not. But overall, your opinions, should we have coaches in Black Ops 3? Yes or no, Fox?
Yes, we should have coaches in Black Ops 2. I would love to see coaches return. I think it would add to, first off, just the value of our esport as a whole. It would add another role, another job that someone could have here. It would add another bit of depth, some great strategy and things like that. We see that Gfinity has already been pretty successful with coaches in their pro league, and I think that it's definitely something we should consider to bring back as long as there are rules around their conduct and stuff, which was the main issue with coaches originally and part of the reason why they were removed. So I think that especially with all these tools and stuff like that, like the picks and bans, theater mode, it would be very interesting to have everyone have a coach, an analyst to consult. Especially with team houses and stuff, man. Like, it's awesome,
It is. That's There's so many opportunities. Goalie, do you like the idea of having coaches of Black Ops 3?
Yeah, 100% is like exactly as Fox said. As long as they're managed properly, I 100% support them, and they have like the right rules. We don't want Mr. X on stage yelling at teams because he can. Like that shouldn't be allowed.
I'll never forget those.
But we definitely need coaches, especially. I'm ready to see a coach come with a notebook to a Black Ops 3 event and have all picks and bans already figured out and all the possibilities. I'm ready to see that. So
yeah, I think we can definitely take that step.
And like, for instance, like Mr. X's knowledge. Well, you kind of mentioned like he was more of a hype man than anything, but the amount of knowledge that we use him for in casting too, like the amount of knowledge that comes out of casters, aka coaches, like I can't imagine the amount of stuff that could come from that. Like the amount of coaches that could become casters or vice versa and stuff. I think it kind of transitions really well. The amount of knowledge is definitely going to be needed in this game, like we mentioned. But moving on to our next question, which actually comes from, I believe that's Samaj, James backwards, most likely. I have a friend who's named that. I don't know. Either way, he has TK all day in his Twitter, but he says, do you think there will be any Black Ops 3 beta tourneys held by MLG? Now, I don't know if necessarily that there will be tourneys, like tournaments held by MLG, necessarily for the Black Ops 3 beta, but do you guys think that players will kind of hold like money 8s in the small beta that we're going to have? And any chance? I don't even know how this would work, if there's an opportunity to even have the lobby system open or not. But if there was an opportunity, do you guys think that there would be a small tournament maybe held when Black Ops 3 is up?
If it's possible, then I don't see why they wouldn't do it. But I was talking to Midnight actually when we were playing AW the other day. I was like, I didn't get to experience the last time Call of Duty had a beta. Was private match available? And she said it's probably not going to be available for Black Ops 2. She did play in the last beta, so I'm just going off of what she said. I would imagine that there won't be private match. What do you mean?
And when was the last beta for Call of Duty?
I think it was
World at War. I think
World at War.
Okay, I wasn't in the scene then.
So it was a while ago, but it obviously could be different, but we don't know. We don't know what it's going to be like. They haven't said anything.
I've been playing COD for a long time. I don't remember the last beta, but I'm pretty sure it was World at War. I'm sure if you guys know in the chat, let us know. But Gola, do you think if there was an opportunity to have like a lobby system that we could host a tournament, do you think that LSU would kind of take that and maybe try to do it?
Oh, definitely. It just depends if the infrastructure's there to even do it. So.
I didn't even think about this, to be honest. That's why I chose this question. I was like, that's a really good idea. Like I would have never even thought of that. So thank you to Samaj for asking the question, or maybe James. I'm not sure. You're at either way. Thank you. But we're gonna move on to the next question, which actually comes from Dylan Davies. He says, "Do you think that the addition of theater mode will impact how teams perform, like when it happened in Black Ops 2?" You guys, who's anyone want to talk about this first? Yes.
So excited for theater, dude.
Let me know about it.
Love it, man. I love I don't know why, but I just get so excited. I love the idea of people working together and watching VODs and breaking things down, and it'll just it'll make the game so much more competitive and strategic, and I love it.
Goalie, I know you have a chance to, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot while you're doing stuff.
It's going to be wonderful for the stats teams. I know that.
Oh my god, yeah,
100%. It's going to make stats so much easier to record. But definitely, if teams don't use theater mode while we have it to their full potential, it's going to be really disappointing.
I agree. So I think it also watching teammates did you push this one thing on this particular map? Well, yeah, I did. Now you can find out exactly what happens to the entire map. You can not call someone out, but you know exactly what's happening. No matter what. You can see all the pushes that you made. The reason why you lost a gunfight was because of this reason, or the reason why you lost this game wasn't for this reason. It was because of our rotations weren't necessarily on point, or our uplink scores. The way that we set up wasn't really good either. So I think this is going to add a completely new style to how players are going to look at VODs. I know they already watch the streams. Now you can literally watch the entire gameplay and switch through every single player, which I think is really, really good. I think the overall players are going to have to step up. Teams are going to have to step up. While it's a fun game, while it is going to be strategic, having the theater mode option just takes it to a whole nother level that I never would have even thought of. So
hopefully most teams by the mid game or COD champs will have an analyst that they actually pay and fund. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It's going to be interesting. I'll definitely be watching some theater mode if possible on certain teams to see how they're already starting off, like for events and stuff. So we'll see what happens. But thank you very much to Dylan for those questions. And I believe this is our last question from Twitter that we're going to do, which is actually coming from Logan or Jetty. He asks, will the FaZe versus OG controversy continue into Black Ops 3, or will it come to an end at Worlds? Now, I know most of the STiKS fam is actually going to be at Worlds. Fox, are you going to be there?
I was invited because I'm a streaming partner with MLG TV, but I don't know if I'm we'll have to see where the monies are at. You know what I mean?
I understand.
Where the monies is at.
Well, I know that as far as the STiKS goes, a lot of us are going to be there. I know Kingdom's going to be there. Myself, Hitch is going to be there, as well as Goalie. But still, talking about Worlds, I think, honestly, Worlds is going to be a very deciding factor on what happens. But for Black Ops 3, it's really hard to answer because we don't know how it's going to play out. Like, as far as we know, Merc's really good at the game, Sensor's a god, and that Buzzo is going to be picked up by Optic Gaming very shortly. See, we don't know all the information just because we've only seen one series play out, or a best of 3 play out. So if it relates back to Black Ops 2, Clayster was really good. I didn't really have a chance to watch Attach. 3 out of the 4 players from Optic Gaming were amazing at Black Ops 2. I don't think Formal really played it much at all, if he did it in any. But do you guys think overall, do you think the FaZe versus OG controversy is going to continue for Black Ops 3? Or do you think Advanced Warfare will kind of be that seal to the end for that?
I think that FaZe and Optic just the history between the two teams. Like, whenever these guys go up against each other, people are going to want to watch just because Optic and FaZe are Call of Duty essentially. But I mean, I don't see why the hype around these two teams wouldn't continue into Black Ops 2. They're the biggest teams right now.
I can agree. Gully, you have any thoughts about it?
I agree. They're the largest. They're the largest teams, or the largest orgs, and they're the best teams right now. So definitely the first tournament. Hopefully, we'll see the new El Clasico. But I don't know. It's like the Optic Gaming versus Envy rivalry, except now we finally have FaZe in the mix. So
exactly.
I don't know. I hope it stays because overall, a FaZe versus Optic Gaming rivalry is very good for the community and the scene. Like, I remember watching Black Ops 2 tournaments and people being hyped to see FaZe versus OG, and I'm like, really? You want to watch FaZe Clan? They're gonna get like top 20, bro. Like, you don't want to watch that.
It's like Spacely and Embos can't handle. Like, what are you talking about? Like, I just remember like the old first FaZe team. It was like, how they're gonna do? Oh man, it's gonna be interesting. I'm not trying to cut you off, Gully, but
no, you.
I think I'm not like trying to talk about myself only, but I don't think it'll come to an end. I think like FaZe, OG, NV, Deny, like the top teams will always be competing. They'll have the same roster, or not the same roster, but they'll always have the top rosters kind of the scene in a sense. But we saw how much Ghost changed, or it's not Ghost, Advanced Warfare changed. I can't even think about the amount of roster changes that happened. I'm sure the same will be in Black Ops 3, but I feel like for this game, for Black Ops 3, how strategic it is. You can't just trade players and expect to do well at the next event. The amount of chemistry, the amount of knowledge that everyone is going to have together is going to be so key. And you're going to have smart players. Like, I think Rambo, like I know we were kind of talking about like the most smart players in the entire game, like Rambo specifically. I would want him on my team for Black Ops 3. That's for sure. Want him in some way on my team. He wasn't the best at gun skill, but he knew the game.
Someone's got to hold the notebook.
Right. Exactly. So to kind of answer the question, Jetty, will it continue Black Ops 3? I don't know. But as far as the FaZe and Optic Gaming being the two best teams in the entire game, no one can really compare to them right now. I don't think it'll be that type of controversy. But I think that they will still be some of the top teams even afterwards in the Black Ops 3. So I think that kind of ends the questions from Twitter, guys, and that's kind of going to wrap up the show. So I think the show has been amazing. I know Hitch and Kingdom had to leave, but we do appreciate everyone who showed up tonight. So I'm going to give our guys a chance to give their outros and also kind of close out the show. So Fox, if you want to go and start off, I'll let Goalie go after you, and then I'll kind of close out the show. So 30 seconds or less. Shout out to whoever you want to how long, or shout out to whoever you want for I don't know, sponsors, anything.
I think we got it by now.
All right,
I'm Fox, guys, eSports caster, YouTuber, live streamer. My Twitter is right here if you want to check out some of my stuff. I live stream 5 days a week, and I upload every day I can to YouTube, which is pretty much every day of the week. So I hope you enjoy my content. If you want to support me at all, host of the STiKS, and it's something I really enjoy. Thank you very much for watching, and I hope you come back for the next episode.
I like it. Mr. Goalie Television.
What's up, guys? Thank you for having me on right at the end of the show. It's a little weird coming on, but you know. My name's Goalie. I'm the head of COD Esports PD. Apparently, we just tweeted something out. I'm not in charge of that right now, so if it's wrong, don't blame me. Let me know in the chat if you'd rather have me stream right now as soon as this stream ends on my personal Twitch, or if you'd rather just have me render out the show and then get it up on YouTube instantly. So give me a shout in the chat and let me know. But thanks for having me on for like 15 minutes, and I hope everyone has a good night.
Indeed. Guys, been your dude, your pro, your bro, your man, your pal. It's been Landon, guys. Thank you so much for coming to the STiKS tonight. Shout out to the sponsors I don't have yet. And like I said, shout out to the STiKS fam. You guys have been super supportive, and I know this show, I think, has been one of our best ones that we've ever had. We're really happy to have Kingdom on whenever he has the opportunity to be on and stuff. So, guys, thank you so much. Shout out to the YouTube people who watch as well. We really do appreciate your guys' support, even though you can't be here. I saw a YouTube comment not too long ago that said, I can't catch the streams because of how I work and stuff, but I always enjoy watching the YouTube VODs, whenever they go live. So, guys, thank you so much for coming out. Fox, I know Kingdom's not here, neither is Hitch, and also Glory for running the show. I think we did a great job, guys. Thank you so much for watching, and I think we'll see you guys Wednesday for the STiKS EU, and Friday for sure with me and Goalie, giving you guys the weekly recap of everything that's happened. So, guys, thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Peace out.